Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, or viewers of all ages, Ice Cream Uploads proudly brings to you its new scoop casters of the show! The fire-headed man from Hyde, the burger-loving man from Salford, the new scoop casters! And I'm listening down there with God.
We apologise for anybody who's been in the chat since 10 o'clock. I have absolutely no idea why the mic decided to stop working. However, I've just restarted the programme and it's decided to work. So joy, having a lot of technical stuff in the same room.
It wouldn't be a new show without new issues.
Well, exactly.
That's never happened before, ever. And we've used the studio like for a bajillion and one things. But there we go. Welcome to the Scoop, ladies and gentlemen. If you are in the chat, if you've been here since 90 minutes-ish, then thank you very much for sticking around. If you're in the chat, then please feel free to say hello. We have chat screens in front of us so you can interact live. And if you're not watching it live and you're listening to it on all of your favourite podcast services around the world, then do you know what? Don't use the chat because we're not going to respond. But feel free to get involved in the next time. Yeah, there you go. Hi.
Well, by now, this is Monday the 7th of October. This is a date that I practically drilled into anybody who was listening.
What date was it?
Monday the 7th of October. So if you listen to the pilot episode that we put live last week, it was just introducing myself and Graham, the new show, what it's all about, and everything that you're going to be able to get from us. We asked people to send in some stuff via Twitter, via emails, via whatever method it was that's easier for you, to give us some new stuff that you want to hear our opinions on, and by God, have we got some today?
We have. I've seen you've been collating them as well. Bibby's been doing the groundwork this morning. He's already sent over our agenda of things to discuss.
Oh, yes.
But before we get into that, let's talk about the weekend, Bib. We've got first show. Yeah. Let's start with a little bit.
Why not? Let's talk about us.
Yeah, exactly. And let's talk about you.
Talk about me.
Because, well, people know what you've been doing because we've been watching you on Twitter, on Twitch even. So twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. You're probably watching that right now. That's where we are. And if you're listening to it on Spotify and iTunes, then make sure you go to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. Hit that follow button so then you can be informed the next time we go live with the Scoop tomorrow at 10 a.m. and every other weekday after that. But Bibby, the weekend, what were you up to?
So, as you very much alluded to, anybody who was watching me on Twitch this weekend will know that I have been rinsing. And when I say rinsing, like, it's kept me off ESO. Anyone that follows me on social media know that for the last 6 weeks I have not been able to get off ESO. ESO has been my game of choice. So this weekend we managed to pick up FIFA thanks to somebody who sat next to me.
What a guy, sounds cool.
So I've ended up getting a copy of FIFA, and I usually get FIFA just for pro clubs. I play with my mates, that's all I play. However, the interest of having Volta in the game and a FIFA Street that I've not had since 2012 has just been too much.
I just got to stop you there. Because,
stop me.
If we could play Bibby's Volta Bingo, then I needed to have the words FIFA Street and 2012 because I watched like your stream on the weekend. You must have said it about 6 times.
That's the excitement though.
Did you know that Bibby bought it for his Xbox 360 just last year for like £4 or whatever?
£4 from Eclipse Gaming down the road. Exactly. It's just one of them games. Like Enix is just a shout out to Jordan, old school Ice Cream Uploads streamer. But he's saying Volta is so good. It is. It actually is. The thing that happened to me actually happened to you because we was laughing at you and you posted a clip, I think it was during the beta, and you ended up scoring in the last second and you thought you'd equalise. The siren went off, he was all celebrating.
Oh, what?
But that happened to somebody else and he ended up winning 6-5. I was absolutely so Magic, thanks for the clip. He ended up posting that in the chat and he was on social media this weekend. However, just Volta itself though, the concept of it, you could bulk it out into so much more in the other game modes like pro clubs.
Okay, so for someone that has FIFA, that has finally installed FIFA, still hasn't loaded it up yet. So there's a story mode and then there's the online bit. So you're doing the online stuff.
Yep.
How does it work? So you start off as Lord Bivington the Fifth.
Yeah, so I started off doing the offline stuff because I honestly thought that it was just offline. From all the conversations that have been going on, I honestly thought it was just offline. So I was going through the storyline, absolutely loving it, and then I seen Volta League underneath and I thought, oh, what's that? And I seen the Div 10 logo that you usually get in Foot Champs or online season. So I give that a go and I ended up pairing up against somebody else's squad and I was like, oh, this is sick. So I ended up playing them, and if you beat them you get a clone of one of their players. So I've been playing people who have like 78 to 83 rated squads. So if I beat them, I get a clone of one of their players to put on my own squad.
Upgrade.
Yeah.
So I thought it was like pinks. So like if you beat that dude.
That's what I thought it was.
I thought you were like, yoink!
But then when I eventually got beat, because I've only lost 2 games out of like 25.
Which were the first 2 that I saw.
It was like the first 2 games that I lost were the first 2 that I played on stream, and it just had to be.
To be fair though, they were good games to lose because it was like 4-0. I was like, well, Bibby's a bit naff at this, and then boom, 4-1, boom, 4-2, boom, 4-3, 5-3, 5-4. I was like, come on, Bib!
Yeah, I thought I was going to get it, but yeah, I thought that's what it was. I thought it was pink slips. I thought they were going to take my players, but you just take the clones. Now, there's so much more they could do. Like, obviously we were talking in the chat about it, so you could have it so you can have friendly matches against your friends, which obviously isn't in the game at the moment, and there isn't also a feature where you could do a co-op with your friend unless you're doing share play. But the team that you take when you play offline,
is it couch co-op then?
Yeah. So but obviously I can do share play with you if you wanted to, that kind of thing. But yeah, the offline team that you play with actually transfers to the online team, so I'm guessing by the time that you finish the offline stuff,
You've got a decent enough team to compete.
Yeah, or you play with like a basic team online. You don't even do the story mode. You just play with a basic team offline, online, and then you just beat people who've got better teams. You just take theirs. But the problem I've got at the moment is because I've not done the storyline. Every time that I come up against someone, they've got the same rated goalkeeper that I have, which means that they haven't done because you can't change your goalkeeper. I've not come across another team that's got a different goalkeeper, so I'm guessing as I progress through the storyline.
When you go to pick one of their players, you can't pick because you've got the same one.
Yeah, we've got the same goalkeeper, so I'm guessing the only way that I can get my goalkeeper better is by progressing through the storyline.
And there's no way to like sign them. There's no way to open packs.
No. But that's the beauty of it. The only time you can get Volta coins, unless I've completely missed something in the menus. The only time that I can actually get the ability to buy anything is through Volta coins that you actually get through winning games and getting promoted.
See, that's pretty good because then it removes the need for pay to win, so to speak.
It's literally just skill. But I was saying to the people in the chat yesterday that this would be the perfect time to get an esport in that, because you can imagine, because for me so far it's just strictly on skill. Like if you're getting your combos right and you've got the right players in the right positions with decent skill moves, decent weak foot, it literally all comes down to skill. Are you pulling the move off correctly? Are you doing it at the right time? Are you doing the right pass? And then I can imagine if it was a 5v5 or 4v4, whatever kind of esport it is, the best players in the world would be the people who are decent at skills and doing the combos at the right time, similar to something like Street Fighter, where you have to get the skills in the right time, the right place, the right combos with the right characters.
So talk about the game mode then, because I obviously dropped in, saw some bits, and I saw you get beaten 2 times in a row, but then you switch from a 5-a-side to a 3v3 rush.
Yeah, I was going to do that. It's a fly goalkeeper. So anytime it's rush, it's fly goalkeeper. So your goalkeeper can come out, which I did originally start on random. So I was just playing anybody in any game mode. So it just circles through all 4 of those. So there's 3v3 rush, 4v4, 4v4 rush, 5v5, 5v5 rush, I think. So I could have had any of those, and I just thought I don't like the fact that I can't control my goalkeeper when I'm playing stick goalkeeper.
See, that
I don't like
no
it.
manual keeping whatsoever.
Yeah, so I just have to rely on the keeper being in the right position at the right time, and I don't like that. I'd rather be able to control my goalkeeper or by any other defender that's in the right place, so I can just tap to him, move across the line, and then they're the games that I was winning. But
interestingly enough, in the chat, NXPVP says, I'm not keen on fly goalkeeper. Yeah, it just isn't good enough. Isn't that the opposite way around? Because fly goalkeeper is you controlling the goalkeeper. Do you mean fixed keeper? Or, like, yeah, let us know. But I know from watching you, when you had the rush game and you could control whoever was back, then that's when you get the last ditch. Get over the net, bing!
Yeah,
save.
Because obviously when you've got a hold of the goalkeeper, you can't. Sorry, when you haven't got control of the goalkeeper, you can't tell them where to dive, or you can't tell them where to block. However, when you're playing fly goalkeeper, you can move your centre back onto the line, or you can move him across. It means we're not controlling. It's always out in the net in games I played. Might be patched now, I'm not sure. I don't know. I only realised as well. I was learning as I was playing. Again, I haven't really played FIFA that much, apart from pro clubs. But I didn't realise that there was chemistry on your team. So you have to get people either from the same country or that play on the same pitches, and that adds to your chemistry. So I don't know whether or not he's doing what I was doing and playing a forward in a midfield position, so that they was just always up front and always leaving your back line exposed. So eventually when I tried to change my formation, I had like 2 defenders, 1 midfielder, 1 striker. I could move my defenders back then. But it's just the mentality of the players. I don't know, but I find it a lot easier to be able to control my goalkeeper or my defender to get them back if I need to.
So how long do you see like shelf life on Valorant? Is it like a do the story mode? I mean, how long is the story mode? How long have you been playing the story mode?
I've been playing the story mode for about 4 hours maybe, and at the moment it's got to a point now, and I kind of don't want to bring it up in this. I don't know where, because I'm in two minds whether or not to say where I'm up to in case, not one for spoilers, and two, don't do it. Yeah, okay, so I'll leave that to. So I'm at a point in the storyline where I've lost a game, and I don't know if it's got an impact on the rest of the storyline. So I'm just going to leave it as that, because I'm sure people would have played it, and I'm sure they will be telling me. But as soon as you load up Volta, you'll kind of understand where I'm going with it, because it shows a certain somebody in a position, and then eventually it comes to playing that person.
Somebody in a position. Yeah. This is non-spoiler chat.
Exactly.
The Scoop Podcast.
That's it. But I mean, if you played Volta, as soon as you load it up and you win your first match, you'll understand what I'm saying. But yeah, that's just where it's at the moment. The shelf life offline, if the game mode's 10 hours, that's been worth it. The fact that you can play online in the league mode division is perfect. You can play that for as long as you want.
It looks really good as well. The fact that it's like you're looking at a full game done in less than 10 minutes. I mean, that includes like half time, that includes the loading in and so on. Like if you play a game of PES or a game of FIFA or whatever online, usually you're looking at about 15 to 20 minutes by the time you've done some.
And that doesn't include the ball going out and the people in half time making subs and the 60th minute sub and stuff like that.
Whereas you get two games and you're loading into your third game in that sort of time on
perfect.
Bolt, which means it's just pick up and play and then absolutely skin someone with a 360 kick, flip, twist, 900 Hurricane Rana, La Croqueta, El Tornado, bad boy kick into the top corner.
But that's it, because I mean, when I play pro clubs, I've never got my player to a position where he's got 5-star skill moves, so I know step overs, I know McGeady spin, I know the Ronaldo chop, I know how to fake shot. They're like the four that I know how to do so far. So I've got players that have got 5-star skill moves, but at the moment I'm just wiggling that right analog stick and hoping that something comes off. But the pass and move, again, I killed it during the stream on Sunday, but the FIFA Street element of it is perfect. I can't believe it's taken them so long to be able to bring a game like this out. And the fact that massive props to FIFA for putting it in FIFA 20. They could have easily sold that game as a separate game, and then I paid the money for it.
I think the issue is the games industry wouldn't allow them to get away with it as much as they had. Because I mean, I absolutely love FIFA Street. Going back to the first one and listening to that Radio 1 extra DJ sounding and guys shouting like. I can't remember, not Stekelenburg, there was always a keeper. I can't remember who it was, some Swedish or some Nordic keeper. Anyway, just hearing the Panna! It's like, so going back to that and thinking, okay, that's pretty cool, I really enjoyed this. But then by the time you get into FIFA Street 2 and then onwards, you're thinking, do you know what, this could just be an add-on. This could be the, like, back in like FIFA 2002 or something, there was a cheat code that you could put in. Which allowed you to get like a 5-a-side game. It was like, I can't remember the name of it. I'll see if I can tweet it out or something at some point. But basically it was all they did was squash the mechanics in. So they'd build in fake walls and put it in the game, and you'd play with the exact same shot powers and everything. It was just a normal game, but 5-a-side, small pitch, and even that was really, really good. So you put in all of the skill moves and stuff that football games have in now. You can't really justify having that as a standalone game. Yeah. So I think. It's a good move from them because they could have released that as FIFA Street and it at tops would have been a £20 game in value. It probably wouldn't have been. It'd probably been a £50 game because it's an EA product. That's what happens with it. But for them to see that, okay, this is a good opportunity to add like a fourth game mode now. So you've got obviously Ultimate Team, you've got Career mode, you've got. Did they have a Become a Legend-esque thing?
Yeah.
So,
in fact, I don't know anymore because they had the Journey for the last 3 years. But I think this year was the first one where they didn't have it.
Oh, they didn't have Journey this year?
Yeah, because I think it was over 3 games, so it was like 3 seasons.
Ah, okay.
So I think this has kind of replaced that. I don't know whether or not they've gone back to the old like FIFA 16 where they had to Become a Legend.
Well, that's pretty cool though, because if you look at it, like, even if Journey's not there, you've got Ultimate Team, Career mode, General Online Divisions, Pro Clubs, and now Volta. That's 5 game modes within one. So there's a lot to go at there.
Do you think that they could have made that part of a season pass? Because that would have been about £20. Because EA usually do season passes, don't they, with the likes of Battlefield.
In terms of what, just adding...
And adding Volta as a season pass thing, so it is paid DLC, but not enough for you to go out and spend £35 on the game as FIFA Street. But if they wanted to say, right, okay, it's going to be included in the season pass, it's going to be £17.99.
I would be against that, because I'd see that as a paywall hiding mechanisms within the game. If they put the mode in, so allowed you to play Volta, but then new arenas, new balls, new kits. I mean, you were skilling up with Adidas kits and so on. You kept saying Adidas, by the way. It's Adidas. God.
Sorry, mate. I'm not Americanized like yourself.
God, I mean, it's not Americanized. It's the company was founded by Adidas.
Did you say Nike?
Yeah, of course I did. That's a good point, actually. I don't. But yeah, having a season pass, I can see giving you all the extra stuff with it, but putting actual functions behind a paywall like that, I feel that's like, if it's not part of the game for everyone, then if it's a function taken away, then you shouldn't have any of that stuff behind a paywall, which then tangents straight into what I've been playing on the weekend, because I've just hit level 100 in the PUBG season pass. Yeah,
well done, mate. Because the amount of time that it must have taken you to be able to get even close to 100 is unreal.
It's 100 for like the third time as well, because it's season 4.
Do you get a free one when you get to level 100, like you do on Fortnite? A Fortnite? I don't know if they still do that.
A free what?
A free battle pass, because I don't know if it was Jack or Luke upstairs that was telling me that this was like a year ago or so. If you got to level 100 in the battle pass, you'd earn enough V-Bucks to be able to get
the next one for free. No, so it's like $7.99 or whatever it costs to buy the in-game currency of PUBG called G-Coin, and it's like $7.99 to get enough coins for the pass, and then the pass then unlocks all the content for the season. And just like you'd get in Fortnite or anything else, you get 2 tiers. You've got your premium tier, which is your paid tier, and you've got your basic tier. So anyone playing through it will get cosmetic items, a new skin, a new emote, or whatever, and anyone who's paid for it will get something pretty much on every level. So if you've got the free one, you might level up and get nothing, but if you got the paid one, you get something every level you go. So yeah, then it adds in things like obviously your daily challenges and your weekly challenges and so on. So that's kind of my aim. That gives me a little bit something to do, rather than just dropping in and trying to finish first out of 100 people, because the mindset for that, I wouldn't have that mindset to be able to just play Battle Royale over again, because by default you have a 1% chance of winning the game. So if you play that to win, then you're going to be disappointed so often. So I have the mindset of going in and every day tick off my 3 daily challenges and then tick off my weekly challenges across the week. So anyway, so do those, get loads of points, get yourself up to level 100, which I've done, and it was amazing. I really enjoyed the season, but not anymore. So if everyone was watching social media and the news last week in the games industry, it was quite a big week, to be fair. Sony not so much announced, but it was revealed that Sony have now rolled out crossplay to all games. So it's obviously been in beta for a while. Started off with the likes of Fortnite, which we spoke about last year, I think it was, end of last year. But anyway, crossplay is now available to every game, essentially. And PUBG has been testing it and rolled it out, and I was massively hyped for this, purely because PUBG has maintained a huge audience on PC. Obviously, it's dropping, and it peaks up again when new DLC comes. Fair enough, but console gaming is more faddy, not faddy. It has a shorter shelf life, put it that way. So obviously, naturally, the audience in PUBG is dropping off, and then when you add in formats now, and then you've got first person, third person, and then you've got solos and squads and duos, all these different game modes, you then create like more and more filters for a queue. So anyway, long story short, if you want to play one-on-one on Vikende, which is the snow map, in first person perspective, there's so few people looking for that. It takes forever to find a queue. So I'm thinking, okay, Xbox and PlayStation together, boom! And that has helped with the queuing times. The downside of it is playing. I mean, I have it PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. I tend to play on PlayStation more than anything, because that's where my social group is. Everyone I play with plays on PlayStation. But the the gameplay for PlayStation versus Xbox is hugely weighted towards Xbox, and I thought maybe I'm just crap. I mean, I am good, and then I'm crap. I'm not one of those like consistent players. So I thought, oh, it's just me. And then another day of it, and another day. So the update came in on Tuesday, and by yesterday night I was just like, I'm getting shot when I'm behind cover. People, I literally turn headshot instantly on me, so they must see me like a man in like treacle, just like. So I thought, no, this is me being a turnip. So I kept like searching PUBG crossplay on Twitter, looking at the general comments, looking at PUBG's social posts and everything, and across the board, Xbox users are like, this is amazing. Not entirely. That's just a generalization. Whereas PlayStation users are like, why is it so bad? Everything's so poor. And then you're looking at the kill feeds, and it's like Xbox kills PlayStation, Xbox kills PlayStation, Xbox. You get down to the final 10 a couple of times over the weekend, and it's some guy facing the opposite way instantly turns on a dime and headshot shit kind of thing when you're behind cover, and it's just like.
So, I know that like you mentioned to me before, that the Xbox you can use keyboard and mouse. Can you not use that on the PlayStation as well?
You're not see. I know you can on games like Fortnite. Obviously, they've actively encouraged it. PUBG has said that they're not going to have Xbox and mouse. That was a while ago. Things might have changed since then. But I know there is. I think it's called the XIM, which is basically a little thing that you plug into your console, and then you can feed your keyboard and mouse through there. I don't believe it's a banned peripheral. I believe Xbox are aware of it and things like
Zim.
Is that how you pronounce it? Zim. So I don't believe it's against the rules in terms of Xbox peripherals, but I think it's in a grey area in terms of it adds functions that that games don't necessarily allow. So PUBG doesn't like the use of stuff like that. However, if you've got a Zim, thanks to NXPVP in the chat for correcting me on my XIM, you can play with mouse and keyboard, and I've seen that so many times. So I'd be in a vehicle driving past a compound. You watch PUBG on Twitch. If the vehicle drives past you, people are going to spray you out of that all the time, like probably about 70% of the time. On console, when you're using a thumb, it's like maybe, but it's just boom, then boom, 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 ow, ow, ow. Frowned upon Kappa in the chat. I'm assuming
that's going to be Connor.
Yeah, it has to be, doesn't it? Yeah. So they say exactly. They are frowned upon, but I believe they're not actually anything that can be punished. People use them on Xbox and PS4 to get mad kill streaks. There we go. So
that's the issue though. If it's frowned upon and people are doing it, they're never going to put something in place where they're going to use that as a matchmaking, like they do on Fortnite. I think you can take away mouse and keyboard and just play natively with a controller. But they're actively saying you can use mouse and keyboard in our game. That's not a problem. But if PUBG is saying no, we don't want you to do that, there's never going to be a point where they're going to patch that in to say, all right, we'll feed you one side, we'll feed you other side. You can play natively on just PlayStation with controllers. Or you're going to open that bracket up and say, okay, you're going to play with Xbox and PlayStation, but just with controllers. I don't think they're ever going to put that in if they don't like that in the first place.
Yeah, if they've not put it in, so to speak, then they just kind of ignore that it's even a thing, kind of thing. Oh, well, we don't allow them. It's like, they're still there! Yeah. But the systems can't pick up the Zim. Thinks it's controller, exactly, yeah. But like, I was going to make a point then. Who are these sexy men, says Big Zombie Monkey? Hi, Spike!
Morning, Spike.
We're just chatting about crossplay on consoles and my torrid time playing PUBG at the moment. See, I'm well, if you've seen me play, I'd probably say you'd think I'm casual, but I'm definitely not a casual PUBG player. I've been playing it for like best part of 2 years.
Smart
now.
Casual.
Yeah, smart casual PUBG player.
Is that what we're going with?
That's the one. Smart casual PUBG. I'm going to put that in my Twitch bio. Smart casual PUBG player. Cheers, Ben.
You can have that one.
So yeah, I'm let's say a committed smart casual player of PUBG. But yeah, at the moment, just not enjoying it at all.
Is this going to force you back into going on PC again? I know because you play with your mates. That's the grey out. Otherwise, I assume you would have been playing on PC for at least a year.
Yeah, it probably, or it'll just push me into other games. So I haven't been playing as much PES as I usually would, and that was one of the reasons. There are other reasons as well, but one of the ones from gameplay side is I've been enjoying playing PUBG. I do it as kind of a family thing. So shout out to Danielle Day, who I believe might be listening to this. She was listening to it earlier on when we had no sound, so good effort for that. So my missus will sit there and she will remind me what my daily tasks are. Like, oh, you need to loot a level 3 helmet or whatever it is. So usually we kind of go through, because it's kind of it's PUBG is hands down the best battle royale game to watch. There is whatever you say, there is nothing that will make me believe different.
Yeah.
Other games are ridiculously good to play and have all their own sort of like strengths, but as a narrative, and particularly one from someone that a casual gamer can approach, PUBG is the best one to watch. That's the reason it's so successful. Crossplay is both a great idea and the worst thing ever. PC versus console is the worst than console versus console. PUBG doesn't have PC versus console; it only has console versus console. So it's not too bad there. It's just the issues are. I mean, if anyone ever played PUBG on the Xbox when it first came out, you'd land and the world was just like, oh, I'm just in a desert, and then it'll load in around you
out of nowhere, won't it?
And you'll find yourself like stuck under a staircase that wasn't there. It's like, well, this is the end of my game. And it's not to that level quite, but yesterday I landed at Picado, which is one of the main areas on the desert map, Miramar. Landed and I could see 60 bullets on the floor. Great, picked up 60 bullets. I'm floating in midair at this point, and then suddenly a boxing ring loads in, and then the floors start loading in, seats load in, everything else loads in. The guy over the other side of the arena that's just loaded in is there fully kitted out with World War III on his back, and I'm there holding 60 bullets. And then the gun loads in. Hey! By that point, you think, oh, for fuck's sake. So,
isn't PUBG in the Games Pass as well? So that obviously opens it up to everybody who's got a Games Pass, because you can play that game for £8 a month.
Absolutely, yeah.
Rather than paying £20 for it. Which
I think, the fact it came first as well means that there's a more dedicated audience. So the fact there's more people playing on the Xbox doesn't surprise me. The issue that I have then is there's clearly a bias in terms of speed, and I thought, okay, like I said, maybe me just being a turnip, but after looking, I was going to write a tweet about it on Thursday, I think it was, started writing it, and I thought, actually, let me do a bit of research before I be a armchair maniac, keyboard warrior. So I looked and I searched PUBG crossplay, and that's when I saw loads of the tweets, and I thought, I'll leave it. And looked another day, leave it. Looked another day. And PUBG have said that there are some issues that they're looking into fixing. They didn't say anything about the crossplay as such. They said there's some audio issues, which is painful. But anyway, that's a long time chatting about PUBG.
Well, just off the back of the Games Pass stuff, obviously Enix has just said Game Pass is the best gaming deal. I want to mainly play on Xbox, but all my friends are on PS4. That actually brings us to one of the topics that I had written down today. And this does come from, I haven't got the HDMI. I don't. This is maybe something that people who are in the chat watching it live may be able to chip in with this one. But we can at some point be able to plug HDMI into our laptops and bring the news articles up for you, so you can read along with us, or you can just listen to us talk about them and read them in your own time. But I will put the show notes into the description on YouTube and into the show notes on all the other podcast services. So if you do want a hot link to be able to go to them yourself, you can do. However, I will give you the author, where I found it from, and the title. I think that's as good as we can get for all audio listeners.
Yeah.
So this one then will come into PlayStation Now gets a big push and a permanent price cut. This is on Eurogamer, and the author is Tom Phillips. So, was you going to say something?
I was just going to say, just to clarify for people that might not know, what is PlayStation Now?
Okay, so PlayStation Now is, I wouldn't say the rival to Game Pass, because it's been... For me, I tried Game Pass when I had the PlayStation Now when it was a free month way back when, like when it first got announced, and I loved the idea of it because I liked the fact that I could be able to play like 200 games on a whim. However, the price was like £16. It was stupidly expensive compared to things like Game Pass, which is £8.
Yeah, it is. And you look at that £16. That's £16. It's monthly, isn't it? £16 per month. Whereas you look at the cost.
Oh, you have to buy PlayStation Plus as well.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to compare it to. You look at the cost for PS Plus, which is 40 quid-ish for a year, and that gives you access to every other person in the world online competitively, plus 2 free games a month as well. What?
Yeah, but then you're spending like 21 quid a month on just being able to play online.
Some comments. Spike says, I love Game Pass, but I have a PS4 Pro and only an Xbox One S, so I'd rather use the PS4. Do you know what? Exactly the same. I have a PS4 Pro and a One S. So Shogun asked with a really important comment there, actually, to be fair. Scoopty whoops. one comment there.
Nice to chip in.
Mrs. Day tells you what to do. Yep, sounds like a marriage capper. I mean, she doesn't tell me what to do. She makes me think about what I do.
She gives you a choice, but then, like...
As long as it's hers.
Yeah. So then Spike saying, wasn't PlayStation Now a streaming thing? I swear I remember having some PS service and it was awful for delay. It was. However, there is a download section now as well, so if you wanted to play it natively, you can do that. But it does, obviously, like everything, if you've got a high-speed internet, it shouldn't affect you. But I'd rather have it natively and just play it from there. But anyway, I'll get through to the article, otherwise we'll be here all day. PlayStation Now is getting a permanent price cut and a time-limited selection of high-profile games as part of their big push for Sony's game services and download service. Here in the UK, monthly subscription will drop from £13, not £16. Down to $9, or from £85 to £50 a year. That's a good deal, £50 a year.
Yeah, see, that's not bad.
In Europe, you'll pay €10 or £60 a month/year, down from €15 to 100 in the US. Those figures same apply in dollars. For the next 3 months, this is the big one. For the next 3 months, PlayStation Now will also have excellent Sony exclusives: God of War, Uncharted 4, Infamous Second Son, as well as Grand Theft Auto 5. How is that a Sony exclusive, Grand Theft Auto 5? That definitely isn't.
I think it's the as well is the separator. So for the next 3 months, PlayStation Now will also host excellent Sony exclusives: God of War, Uncharted, and Infamous Second Son, as well as Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah. So these are temporary additions. They'll disappear on Sony. They'll disappear on the 2nd of January 2020. But Sony has promised more marquee games every month on top of the evergreen PS Now catalogue.
That is a pretty tasty.
That is mint.
If you've not played God of War, I mean, I have it, and I've played like about an hour, and we'll get back to it at some point. It's an incredible game, even from the bit that I've seen from when we did check out our clips if you're new to Twitch, Ice Cream Upwards. Make sure you hit the follow button on here. So check out our clips. You will see me getting manhandled by Kratos himself from God of War. But yeah, God of War, amazing game. Uncharted 4, one of the best games. Have you ever played the Uncharted series?
I played the first one and the one on PS Vita. I haven't played the others.
Ooh,
but to be fair, me and Connor in the office last week when we saw this, and I think now when you load up the PlayStation, it's on the dashboard as an advertisement. So I went into it and had a look, and the games that are in there are phenomenal. I had a PS3 for a very short amount of time because I was an Xbox 360 guy. Like, I just play on that constantly. So going back through the PS3 catalogue and games that I missed, I'm 110%. I'm in. I want this. I'm probably going to be signing up to this sometime soon. When I finish the games that I'm playing, I will sign up to this.
The thing that kind of like pickles my gherkin is that even a phrase? I don't know. Pickles my whatever. The thing that makes me think is so we've got the Xbox Game Pass and we've got Xbox Live. We've got PS Now and we've got PS Plus, and one of them's blah per month or per year, and the other one. Why did they not have like a PS Plus Now?
Yeah.
Like, why can you not?
£70 a year. You've got Xbox, PlayStation for the year, and then you've also got Xbox.
Yeah, exactly. You're looking at 90 quid
yeah.
for both of them for the year, which is a bit of a. I mean, 40 quid, 50 quid. It's. I mean, it's not like it's a little bit of money, but it's a bit of money that people can dispose of a bit more easier.
Yeah.
Than around 100 quid. That suddenly becomes a chunk of cash. So have them both together for 70 quid, then it's like, okay, well, I can just stump a little bit more and balance it out next month. If you want it to succeed, then surely that is where.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, they've dropped it down. I thought it was a lot more expensive than that, but £13 to £9 is decent as itself. But for the year, £50 a year, I probably won't pay for the year because I ain't got 50 sheets to just throw away. However, £9 a month, I'm probably not going to miss that. But yeah, I mean, it's being able to have God of War, Uncharted 4, and also what was the one? Infamous Second Son. That is also a brilliant
really
game.
Good game. Yeah,
that's a brilliant game. First Light as well.
Did you play it good or bad? Like when you went through it?
Bad, I think.
I'm a proper little.
You see, I never get to play good. Like, I started playing DC Universe Online on my Switch, and I've got the opportunity to be a villain. Of course, I'm choosing that because every single like superhero game, you're always going to be the good guy.
See, I'm a proper little ass kiss, so I go through and like goody two shoes it. But then you just like someone will go, "Hey, watch it, buddy," and you're like.
In before as well, I know in January, well, I don't know, however, I'm going to throw this out there. When they get taken out, what do you reckon the first game is that they're going to put in?
What, into
PlayStation exclusive?
Spider-Man?
Yes, that is the first one that I thought. Because I think Spider-Man and Gran Turismo were the two that they're going to put in there.
Well, I was thinking, well, I mean, January is just ahead of February when The Last of Us comes out, but The Last of Us is free for everyone this month on PS Plus. So if you're on PS Plus, make sure you download it before the end of the month. Even if you're not going to play it, just get it there so that you don't have to pay for it again.
Yeah.
Best game ever.
I recently downloaded it again the other night with the intention to play it at some point, sometime soon, just to revisit it again.
just before we move off of PlayStation, I want to jump back up the chat to Connor, I think it was, who just posted in the chat. PlayStation have just announced a partnership with Discord as well.
Oh, that's tasty.
Which is pretty cool. That is pretty cool. The thing with that, what that's good is, let's rewind back to PUBG, because every stream comes into PUBG.
If we've not got a 45-minute PUBG chat, this isn't happening.
Well, that's because Shogun, when I'm streaming PUBG, jumps in the chat and makes me talk about other things. Shout out to Shogun Ash in the chat, we're still here. So, talking about PUBG and other games that have crossplay, the issue that you have is, I can shoot against you and you can shoot against me, but we can't squad up, we can't party up, and we can't chat together. Whereas you got something like Discord. If Sony's on board with Discord, I was literally this morning thinking about it on the way in. It was like, surely there has to be. It was like, what was it called, Ustream or something like that? Sony announced a partnership with Ustream or something, like going back to PS3. Like, we can offer streaming options, and it just happened to choose a crap system. But the idea was they saw that people wanted to move forward with streaming. So you've got to think, if not Discord, some voice chat services are going to be there at the forefront of stuff. The interesting thing there, though, is that's where you start to look at. I mean, you have to choose Discord. Surely, as a gaming brand, you have to choose Discord.
Absolutely.
But Xbox is owned by Microsoft, which owns Skype. Are they going to start trying to recycle Skype again, or do they have like?
Can you use Skype chat while you're playing a game on Xbox?
I don't know about Xbox. No, you can on PlayStation. I don't know about Xbox.
No, yeah, because I'm sure, like when the old Xbox PlayStation 4 thing was coming out, and there was just the battle of what's the better console, what's more powerful, what can you do? Is it a media center? Blah blah blah. I'm fairly certain.
TV.
Teraflops or whatever it's called.
Who's he? Good old Terry Flops.
I'm sure that you could dock Skype on the side, so if me and you was playing on our Xbox and was playing PES or whatever, I could call you via the console, so you didn't have to use a party chat or whatever. I'm not sure,
because that's where you got the like the TV Xbox conference kind of things, like Xbox call.
People was using them. Yeah, people was using them in like in proper conferences, in like offices and stuff like that. Mate, I mean, first of all, we have the luxury of having consoles on our desk for the jobs that we actually do.
Can you imagine that? Like some guy working for NatWest or the Royal Bank of Scotland or something, like just shouting for one of his minions to come in and turn the PlayStation on.
It's not going to happen, is it?
It's an Xbox, mate. But no, it's not going to happen. Comment there from Spike. My issue with the PS4 deal is that they're putting older exclusives on PlayStation Now, but Game Pass puts on the new exclusive. That is the real seal of the deal for me. That's exactly. I mean,
do you reckon
have I mentioned PUBG on this stream? Have I ever mentioned that?
I don't think you have, mate. Tell them. What did you play this weekend?
No, but like PUBG's obviously past its prime on console at the moment. But when it was Sanhok new map. Everyone like was buzzing about it E3 time last year. They announced that and then pushed it out onto Game Pass at launch alongside, what was the other game? It was like the Forza, like day one or something like that, straight onto Game Pass.
They need to do that though, don't they? Like, because they're so far back, they're not even a dot in the mirror. You can't even see them that far back in terms of customer service, blah blah blah. However, the fact that they've brought all these games into Game Pass to get people, I mean, it even interested me going out and buying an Xbox just to be able to get Games Pass. I wasn't interested in anything else. The fact that they don't have any first party exclusives is a bit of a kick for them, especially when things like Spider-Man and God of War have been coming out. Like, you're not going to be able to compete with them unless something like Gears 5 comes out, which I think Gears 5 has been their best selling Gears ever.
Yeah, it has.
But that only comes, when I say best selling, I don't think that's a word to use, because I think it's the most played Gears ever because it's on Games Pass. If it was available for you to be able to buy but not on Games Pass, are they still getting the same player base that they would have done, providing that it wasn't on that service?
That's where you start to see issues, though. I mean, I played the first Gears on Xbox 360. It was obviously pretty much a launch title, and it was incredible. Played some of the second, never finished the second, and then fell into my normal routine of didn't finish 2, so I'm not playing 3, can't play 4, won't play 5. Until I've gone back and played 2, which I'll never play, so I'm never going to play these games ever again. But the issues that then arise from that are these developers, they're obviously getting a share of the Games Pass revenue, because I don't know how it works. Is it based on minutes played? So if you play a bunch of time and Microsoft sees that, okay, you've paid for the Game Pass and you've pretty much just played this all month, so a chunk of money is going to Gears Coalition, because they're the guys that have basically used all your time. But because that will, I mean, £8 a month for a few months until you finish it, and then not again for a game that usually costs you 50-60 quid. That all of the money goes into.
I think they did this for £2 as well, though. I think they did a deal. There was someone just put it in it.
Craig put it in the chat. Game Pass Ultimate offered 2 months for £2 last month, but in fact you got the Game Pass for the entire duration of your remaining gold subscription.
You see, you can't argue with that, can you? People have been playing a brand new game on release for £2. You're not going to be able to compete unless Sony do something like that with The Last of Us in February. They're not going to get any more hype on PlayStation now, apart from people like myself who didn't have a PlayStation 3 and wanted to go back and play some of the old God of War games or the rest of the Uncharted series or whatever. If The Last of Us wasn't given away this month, if I hadn't have played it, I can go back and play that stuff. I think that's where they're going to be going. Everyone wants a Netflix style service, which I thought. I don't know that much about Google Stadia, but I would hope that it would have been like that. But I'm hearing that it's not. You pay a monthly service to be able to play online, but then you still have to buy the full game. So that for me isn't. For me, it's not a business idea. However, I did have an idea last week, and I was speaking to Mr. Matt Bamber about it. How have Xbox or PlayStation not thought of bringing out a dongle like you got the remote play at the moment? How have they not brought out a HDMI dongle that you can plug into your TV and you can play your PlayStation everywhere, but it's all natively on that? So you can just connect to the Wi-Fi and you can play your entire PlayStation Now collection or your own collection, as well as Games Pass everywhere.
Just like a digital handshake login in.
Exactly like that, but you can play everything on Games Pass as long as you've got a strong enough internet. You could have an internal storage on it as well to back up your. I mean, that massive piracy stuff, unless you can feed it and download it onto it. But how have they not brought out something, say £90 or £130 if you haven't got an Xbox controller? How has that not been a thing?
What was it called? Was it PlayStation TV?
Yes.
Which was like almost like one of those Sky Mouse dongly things, which does connect via HDMI and gives you a little box kind of thing, and that allowed you, if you were your PlayStation in the living room and your missus wants to watch Coronation Street or whatever British programme that's massively British and missus watches stereotypical. Say if something was on the TV, the little one wanted to watch, I don't know, Nickelodeon, whatever, and so then you go upstairs to where your other TV is, you can then remote play into the console. So they've tested the water, so to speak, with that. But I mean, it was horrendous from what I've heard. Like the lag between them.
This is 2014. Like my internet and your internet, especially over the last 2 years, we've got newer lines in mine. So fair enough, I'm only getting 60 at the moment. But at one point, when I first moved in with Samantha, we was getting 10, if that. And that's shocking.
Well, I've got a 90 meg line, so I get 10 at the moment. Yeah, cheers for that, Sky Bro.
But that's it. It's like Stadia will fail instantly based on places that don't have good internet, and the fact that you're having to pay £10 a month or whatever it is to play online, or to be able to just get into the menus, and then having to buy Borderlands 3 for £40, so you're paying £50 for that. But I just think if they was to sell the dongle for £130 with your controller, you've got the dongle then, and if you wanted to activate it, you pay your £8 for Games Pass, and then you're good. You can take that wherever you want. If we're going to conferences in Cologne or you're going to E3 or something like that, you can take your console with you without taking your console with you. You can take your dongle with you.
I think the issue... Oi! Thank you very much for the host, Precision. Everyone that's joined us from Precision's chat, big change of pace. I'm assuming Precision was playing PES. We may mention that in the course of the show, but this is The Scoop. We are live on twitch.tv/icecreamuploads. If you're new, please hit follow. We give you this show every day at 10 a.m, but then we also have some gameplay in the evenings, in the afternoons, and so on. But we'll come on to that shortly, as we were just going a little bit off topic there. I think the issue that they probably have is... Okay, is this going to start to drop our hardware sales? Because we've just hit however many million PS4s sold because people want one upstairs and want one downstairs and so on. Are they going to start thinking, okay, well, that's going to drop our console sales there? So there may be some of that, but also the fact that I live pretty much Manchester city centre and my internet is crud because of my local providers, because of the infrastructure in my local area. Because of that, they're probably thinking, okay, we're not at a point where we're sure that everyone can fully benefit from this, so we don't want to release a product that's just going to be a minefield, which is where it's ballsy. And someone saying, Enix says Stadia will fail instantly in the chat. But
I mean, Connor, I do think that's Connor. Correct me if I'm wrong, But it says Stadia is kind of the same. Yeah, I get that it's the same. However, I'm still having to pay a monthly fee and then buying my games for full price. That's how I've read it anyway. But with the idea that I'm putting forward, you don't have to buy them. It's literally just Game Pass or PlayStation Now on a stick. You pay your monthly fee. That's it. You don't have to buy anything else. You've got access to their cloud catalogue. So I don't have to pay. I don't have to buy. I don't have to spend another £40.
So you can't pick and choose the games that you want.
No, you just got access to a catalogue that's already there.
Kind of like Netflix. So you could go and watch Netflix and watch Stranger Things because that's on their catalogue.
On my phone, on my PC,
but
anywhere.
You can't go on Netflix and watch Harold and Kumar Get the Munchies.
Exactly.
No idea why that's the first thing I went to. There you go. So, I mean, I don't know, it might be on Netflix, but let's say it's not. You can't choose to watch that because it's not there. If you want to watch Harold and Kumar Get the Munchies, you need to pay for that separately, which is...
Yeah. You see, obviously Connor's saying one thing and Enix and Jordan's saying a different thing. So that, I think that's the grey area at the moment. I don't think anybody, again, correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody's got anything that they can give us to change my opinion on this, but I don't think it's going to do as well as it should do. I feel there's better ways around it.
I think I'm open to it a bit more now after what we've already spoke about on the first episode of The Scoop. I'm open to the idea of Stadia a bit more now that things like crossplay are being tinkered with, because I thought, okay, you as Xbox fanboy, not that you are, I'm just using it. So you are an Xbox fanboy, you've got your Xbox 360 heritage, you're now on your Xbox One, you've upgraded to the One X, you don't want a PlayStation, why are you even going to bother with a Stadia, whatever you want to pronounce it? Me as PS fanboy over here, it's like, well, what? So I'm not going to bother with Stadia as well. However, now they've got cross-playing, it might be an easy way for those few people that might be early adopters for Stadia to go, actually, I can just play these games normal now. I mean, I've got to pay for my game, which I would have had to do anyway. But now I can play against my mates who've got a PlayStation, who've got an Xbox, and because it's an online-based stuff, there may be more freedom to get interaction with the likes of Discords and so on, which we've already spoken about. So I'm open to what it potentially has.
Do you think it's going to have any exclusives? Because that is going to be a console seller. You've got... back in the day, PlayStation had Crash Bandicoot, they had Tomb Raider. Since then, they've obviously moved to Xbox, and you can play them games on there. But do you reckon that they're going to have something like a Gears 5 / God of War?
I genuinely think that is a possibility, but I can't.
Google can throw money. Google can throw money away. They can throw money at failure.
Well, look at everything they've tried. I mean, even down to Google Glass. Let's have some glasses that can show you the world in your eyes. But that's what my eyes do. But like, I mean, they've had so many different things. Google Home or whatever, that little landing page that you used to have as your homepage on the internet, or whatever. 1,000,001 different things that they've tried and failed because Google are successful because they know that R&D, research and development, will lose you money just as much as it will gain you money. You'll have to break 60 eggs before you find the one that makes a decent omelette, so to speak.
That's interesting. Precision, he says he's gutted that he's missed it and needs to get it on VOD later. Don't worry about it, mate. I very much appreciate you sending the raid over. Very much appreciate that, mate. Hope you're having a good morning. Definitely Nate says good morning. Good morning to you, sir. Again, you can find us live on Twitch every day at 10 a.m. to get your daily scoop of content, either from us both or whoever it is that is going to be hosting for that day. You can get us on podcast services, or your favourite ones, Spotify, iTunes, maybe not Google Play, because that doesn't want to play at the moment, but SoundCloud as well. You're going to get the lot. Again, very much appreciate you joining us this morning. But Edix is saying that the Founders Edition read on Stadia Forum, someone asked if that you are getting Destiny 2 for free. If you don't, they said, no, you have to purchase it. That's interesting because Destiny 2 has just gone free on PlayStation, PC and Xbox. I think that's the paid DLC, but I think you get the base game for free. So you're kind of not even getting it for free because it's already free to everybody else. So they made a big song and dance about it being you can play Destiny 2 for free on Stadia, whereas I can just boot on my PC and go play
Destiny 2 for free. Also on Stadia.
So again, I don't think unless something convinces me otherwise. Fair. I like the way that they've tried to bring it forward. They tried the forefront of entertainment going forward for the next 3 or 4 years, because I do think at some point streaming is going to be the way forward for gaming. You can see it on anything, PlayStation Now, Netflix. It doesn't even have to be video games. Everything's going towards streaming. If I'm at home on my phone, I'm not got the Wi-Fi and I'm watching something on YouTube, I'm streaming that content. It's going to be the way. Whether or not they can actually make it work with no button delay, that's going to be the issue.
We've come a long way in 10 years. I mean, 10 years ago we had OnLive. We actually have an OnLive.
Yes, we do.
Just over there. Do you know what? I might even nip off and grab that in just a second, just to show you youngers on the internet that Stadia isn't a new thought. It's a new time to be able to deliver it. So we had OnLive, which was essentially the same thing, a little, quite a nice looking pad that housed everything. You had a dongle in your TV, and there you go. Anyway, failed, didn't work very well. I think the thing that you touched on it a second ago is, will there be any exclusives? I think there probably will be. I mean, Google have some history. I mean, you mentioned Google Play, but like the Google Play Store, they've got the mobile games and so on, so they have stuff there. I think that's probably where they're going to go. I think their issue is bridging that gap of taking the step between getting a good mobile exclusive to, okay, how do we get to console exclusives? I don't think they'll go AAA to start. They could do. They could do, but
I'll tell you what, I'll read this next one if you want to go and get the OnLive stuff, and I want you as a. I'll go through it and then I'll ask you for your opinion, seeing as though I think you are the right man to go through this. So, we asked last week in our pilot episode, if you do want anything to be talked about, feel free to send it us on Twitter, DM us, doesn't matter how we get it, as long as you want us to talk about it. And this is one that came from Sick Pattern. If you are in the chat, mate, let us know. EA leaked the personal information of 1,600 FIFA player global series competitors. That is a title, and this comes from Eurogamer, and it was written by Vikki Blake. So, Electronic Arts has acknowledged that an IT blunder has leaked the personal information of 1,600 players who signed up to participate in the FIFA 20 Global Series. Registration for the competitive event opened on Thursday the 3rd of October, but within half an hour it was closed again after participants reported seeing other people's information, including email, date of birth, EA username, country of residence, upon signing up themselves. This was a statement that came from FIFA. At approximately 1 PM UK time, we announced the registration portal page of EA Sports FIFA 20 Global Series. Shortly after, we learned that some players trying to register were seeing the information of other players who had already signed up through their registration plays. We immediately took action and shut down the site by 1:30 UK time. We are able to root cause the issue and implement a fix to be clear that information is protected. We're confident that players will not see the same issue going forward. Now, Mr. Graham Day, who has been around one or two press releases in his time, what kind of shit show is this going to cause?
That is potentially big money sort of situation. I mean, the thing they mentioned there, looking at the details that have got out,
so this one,
username, country of residence, date of birth, email. They don't mention password there.
No, they don't.
So, I mean, but I did see other people saying password. So, interesting to know whether that was actually the case or not. Because I mean, username, password, and email. Yeah. I mean, for all of those people that use one password for everything, congratulations, everything has been hacked. So that's quite severe. But I believe, I mean, GDPR might have changed this, but I believe any sort of data breaches and stuff like that, a company can be fined 2% of its turnover. Yeah. So I mean, if you earn 100 quid, then we've got to pay £2 fine. But when you earn billions a year, that could be massively costly.
Well, they've also gone on to say EA concluded saying that registrations would reopen in the coming days, but as of yet there is no word on where that might be. So it's not as quick fix as they made out to be. However, I don't think that they're going to be opening it up anytime soon on the basis that it will be under investigation. Like, is it criminal investigation at this point? If you're releasing, you're basically doxing someone, aren't you?
Yeah, I think the issue is that probably, technically, it would be a quick fix. It'd be a web page and someone has built it in a way that it doesn't clear out previous user data, and I bet it's something that a developer could fix in 20 minutes. Yeah. However, the circus around that, I mean, as soon as they open it up, every single response to that tweet is going to be like, lol. Yeah, give away my details or whatever. I'm going to log in as Steve because I saw his details the other day. That sort of stuff, that's going to be on the tweet that goes out. So I think from a PR perspective, they're probably sitting there going, yeah, we can launch, everything still works as it did, just that one form that was a bit kind of like, show everybody. Now isn't, however, let's just let the dust settle, let's see where we're standing, let's have these internal discussions on what we're looking at legally. can be fined 10 to 20 million euros or 4% of your visit. Is it 4% now?
And that's come from Mr. Buzzted Peep, the Jelly Media business development.
So yeah, huge. I think without trying to gloss it too much, gloss over it too much, I think it was a very simple error. But one that has grave
definitely
consequences.
Especially when you've got people who are anti-EA, even if they didn't even put their information forward, they'll be doing everything they can to try and make a statement, or they're going to be pushing something somewhere just to try and benefit them.
I'm going to log in as Bibby and getting some whims because he really needs them.
Oh, sick of it. Sick of it. I mean, I was winning yesterday, Spike. You was in there and I was balling. How did you get on with Volta, by the way? You missed that discussion this morning. We did about 20-minute deep dive into Volta and what it's all about.
I mean, if you did miss the Volta discussion, then you can listen to it back across all podcast stuff, just not Google Play till Bibby fixes it. But one discussion that you might have missed, which we can come back to briefly, is...
For audio listeners, we are opening up...
We are showing you... Google Stadia.
Yeah,
that's exactly what this is. I mean, it's not. It's an on-live system. I may go quiet because I'm going to walk away from the mic and
I'll turn the mic around
to the camera. So this is the very first Google Stadia. This is what it looked like 10 years ago. So this can you see that?
Yeah, perfect.
On live. So this was and is now a defunct gaming system. And as you can tell, because it's in its plastic,
it still looks good though. Yeah, it still looks super modern.
So this is essentially what you.
That's basically Steam Link.
It is. So you've got an Xbox-esque controller in terms of the shape and the battery pack. Really good, really simple to use. Access everything you need through the OnLive home button there. And then, I mean, not so much a dongle. Things were a little bit bigger 10 years ago, but that's Ethernet port, HDMI, USB connections, and optical digital box you plug into your TV, and that is essentially your console, and the pad essentially does everything else. So that is kind of Google Stadia, what it looked like 10 years ago, but in black.
Well, I mean, that stinks of a YouTube video, that. Google on live 10 years later. What's that going to be like? I mean, if you load it up now, what will happen? Kind of thing.
Nothing.
Yeah,
it's dead. All being killed. I had an OnLive at home, and I threw it out in January. After all this time, I thought, do you know what? Someone might hack it, make a mod. It might be bin. I bet someone does it now. I bet someone will create some world class. Servers are dead, says Ice Cream Uploads. Boom.
So anyway, moving on to the next one. I'm fairly certain this is going to interest you in some way, shape or form. This comes from the Video Games Chronicle and was written by... I wish I had this to hand.
Down a bit.
Where did I even put it? Oh, there it is. Video Games Chronicle, written by Andy Robertson. It is Rockstar's Bully 2 fizzled out after 18 months of development. Now, this is a game. Did you play the first one? Please tell me you played the first one.
I actually didn't. Not that I didn't want to, not that I wasn't going to. It's just one of those games that I think it came out. It was Xbox 360. Oh no, was it PS2 era?
It was on PS2. That's why I had it on.
So it came out just at a time where I think I was at uni, and then there was alcohol, and then there was PES 5 and Need for Speed Most Wanted, and obviously San Andreas, and I think it just came out a period where I was like, oh, yeah, I'll get round to that, and then it just kind of disappeared, kind of thing.
90% sure it's on PlayStation now, and it could even be on Games Pass, but it's been ported to everything.
Do you know, we should absolutely be on commission from PlayStation Now.
I agree. If you want to sponsor us, PlayStation, then feel free to do so. I could do with some PlayStation Now subscriptions. It will save me £50 a year. But anyway, moving on to it. The planned sequel was playable but never got off the ground, sources claim. So Rockstar New England spent more than a year working on a sequel to the 2006 fan favourite Bully in the early 2010s.
Do you mean Canis Carnum Edit?
Yes.
Because they're not allowed to call it Bully in the UK.
No. So that yes, you're absolutely right there, because I completely forgot what the original name was called. But yeah, going as far to create the playable build with basic open world gameplay, VGC understands. So Rockstar co-founder Dan Houser, and a handful of his most trusted developers wrote a script for Bully as early as 2008, which can turn the first few scenes and an outline of the rest of the story, according to sources with the knowledge of the development. The story starred Jimmy, the hero of the first game, and featured many returning characters. It began as Jimmy's stepdad's house in the summer at the end of the school year. The sources said, which corroborates. He's on fire this morning. Anonymous claims reported by the Bully YouTuber Swegter. Never heard of him. A second well-placed source said that VGC, the team, never decided where the full story would take Jimmy, and that depicting some of his time back in education. Perhaps at school or college was one of the options being discussed. Right, so we're just going to go and read another 2 lines off this. A few years later, sometime between Red Dead Redemption's release in May 2010 and the end of 2013, a team at Rockstar New England spent a year and 18 months building out the concept, the second source said. It was primarily led by the art team, including Joe Medina, who at the time was a principal artist at Rockstar New England, and Stephen Olds, who was a Rockstar New York visualization director during the development of the original Bully. Both were contacted for this piece, but neither responded.
See, I reckon what's happened is Bully has had... It definitely was no GTA. It didn't have that level of reach. Bully had... It's not right to use the word cult, but I'll stick with it anyway. More of a cult following in Rockstar's terms anyway. It was more cult in that sort of context. So you've got GTA, which was and always will be the best game ever, pretty much. So then you have Bully that wasn't as big and had sort of name issues. So some people knew it as Bully, some people knew it as Canis Cardam Edit, some people didn't even know they were the same thing. A lot of people get it passed by. So you're building out the second version of this game, and in that sort of time frame, you've got Red Dead Redemption coming out, which a lot of people missed the Red Dead series, like Red Dead Revolver. I mean, I didn't play either of those. Played Red Dead Redemption, which is an incredible game.
I didn't play Revolver.
A lot of people didn't. Most people thought Redemption was the first. I mean, I did for a little bit, and until I researched it before I played it and found out, but not enough to go back and play the games. Anyway, so you've got GTA, massive. Red Dead Redemption, massive. Bully. Do we need to risk something there? So that I think, I mean, I could be wrong. I assume they've just gone, do you know what? It's nice and there's a lot of people that like it and it could be something, but let's just stick on building GTA. Let's focus on making, I mean, I'm assuming 2008-ish. Was 4 out then? Or it was out.
It was out on 360 or whatever. It was on last gen, so PS3.
So they're looking at building out GTA 5. And obviously everything else around. I mean, Red Dead 1 have been out too long, so I can't imagine they'd be massively into Red Dead 2 by that point. Obviously, it took them for quite a while. The Warriors. Wow.
I'm having a look now. Like the best rated Rockstar games, Bully was 4th, San Andreas was 2nd, Red Dead Redemption was 1, Grand Theft Auto 5 is 3rd. However, there's some games here that I completely forgot about. The Warriors, what a game that was. Max Payne. Midnight Club, that was amazing franchise.
I used to like Midnight Club. Bully Scholarship Edition, so the same game, but twice.
I don't know why it's further down there. Undead Nightmare, never played that. Manhunt, that was a phenomenal game.
See,
that got banned though.
This list, I'm already questioning because there's 2 of Bully within there, and
Sleeping Dogs. What a game that was.
Where was it? You went past something and I just thought that shouldn't be on any list. Red Dead Redemption, Undead Nightmare. Red Dead Redemption, incredible game. Red Dead Redemption, Undead Nightmare. Wow, incredible game. Just got me to spend 18 quid that I'm never going to see again. That's what Undead Nightmare is. I played it once again with my missus, who I hope is still listening. And she bought me that, I think, as a birthday present, the Undead Nightmare add-on, and I just didn't finish it. It was just lame, samey crap. However, coming back to Bully, I believe that they've probably, even though it's ranked number 4 out of user charts, I believe
that's why, because that's the PS2 version. Scholarship Edition was the ported to the 360 version. That was like the kind of remastered, upscaled version, but the original one on PlayStation 2, that's why it's there twice.
So yeah, I reckon that's probably what they've done. They've had 2 games that are massive and 1 game that was probably a bit more of a risk. Maybe not. Maybe there was other reasons for it internally, but I think that's probably why.
Manhunt is on PS4 and the PS2 titles because I've got it. I wasn't letting that slip. It's a brilliant game. So that's the Bully news. I'm sorry, Spike. I know you was devastated about hearing that one. I'm sorry to ruin your Monday.
I have the Warriors game. They should really make that again.
It's brilliant.
Yeah, like I used to love the fact that you could absolutely leather someone and then pick up their hat. Forget all of the good stuff in it. It was one of the first games that I played where this dude's got a top hat. I'm having that.
Right, so we've got the last 2 stories for today. This one is from Games Radar and it's done by Jordan Gerblick. I'm probably saying that completely wrong. I'm sorry about that, Jordan. But House of the Dead 1 and 2 remakes are happening. Are you a House of the Dead guy?
I've never played House of the Dead apart from like in arcades.
That's the best way to play it. Like you can play it out. It came out on Dreamcast many moons ago, and it's out on the Wii as well. However, having the recoil guns, because I remember them having like Time Crisis. You know, when you shot the gun, it had recoil in the back of the gun and just go. Best experience of a shooting game in an arcade.
I always take that. I mean, I know arcades are hold a sacred place for a lot of particularly old school gamers. My issue with an arcade is arcades are microtransactions.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I've got no issues with paying for a game. I have an issue where it's £1 and £2 for a quick go, and then you're looking at 15 quid to have a moderate go. Mm-hmm. If you want to get through that full game, you probably got to pay 100, 200 quid.
Back in the day as well, a shooting game like that, and what was the other one that I just used to throw money into? It was like Streets of Rage, but it wasn't. It was a coin dump because you just get battered.
I love arcades. Rip. I mean, I absolutely love an arcade. Sorry, interrupting. I love arcades. It's just.
So this is why we go to Arcade Club.
Yeah.
Go to Arcade Club. There's one in Bury and there's also one in Leeds. Anyone that's up in the north. Me and Graham have been to Arcade Club. I try to go like once every 3 months. The first floor, they've got all the old arcade cabinets. Phenomenal stuff. You pay your £10 to get in. There's a button underneath that you just press and it gives you virtual coins on the thing, so you can just play whatever game you want. It's got like over 200 arcade cabinets.
See, that is my sort of thing, or even like I don't know, paying for a time pass or something. Because there was nothing wrong with paying for arcades when it used to be like nickel arcades, dime arcades, whatever like that. It's when you start going to remortgage arcades. Because every shot I'm doing, and I'm melting that guy, bang, bang. I love shooting games, that sort of stuff, but I hate the fact that there's always a niggling feeling that, okay, if I miss 3 shots in a row, or get hit 3 times in a row, that's my quid gone, and it's the wrong level of risk reward. There's just the risk. It's like, okay, well, it's going to cost me.
Absolutely.
Boom.
I'll just go on to read some of this article for you. If you ever played a zombie game in the arcade, there's a good chance that you were playing House of the Dead or its sequel. It's been over 20 years since the original first appeared in the arcades. I know it's old, that, isn't it? 96, the original first one came out. Forever Entertainment announced on Twitter that while they can't confirm what platforms the remakes will support when they release, House of the Dead and House of the Dead 2 are both getting remakes. Nice. Quote from them saying, "Hi guys, we confirmed the signing of the agreement regarding the remakes of the game, the House of the Dead and House of the Dead 2. No platforms or release dates have been confirmed. Unfortunately, we can't say anything now, blah blah blah." Basically what I've just read in the first sentence. House of the Dead and is the quintessential rail zombie shooter, often celebrated as the pioneer of the genre. There have been a bunch of sequels and repackaged ports, but the original and its sequel are the two that define the franchise. It'll be interesting to see what the developers take the series in 2019. I need more of this.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of intrigued as to how it works. So
you can't use light guns at home anymore.
Yeah, nobody's got like the SNES blaster or whatever. Like that stuff doesn't exist. So where do they take it? Is it gonna be mouse and keyboard? Is that the same? Are they?
Did you ever play Typing of the Dead?
What?
Whoa! This is gonna blow your head off. This is where I wish that we had
Typing
the HDMI.
Of the Dead.
This is where I wish I had the HDMI port to show you. I'll show you
Top
later on.
Left.
Yeah, no, this is right. Basically, it was House of the Dead. I think it was the third one. In fact, I'm gonna have to show you. I know this isn't great for audio viewers. However,
I will do some searching through the messages just to see. Deafening 8 says Max Payne. I like the Warriors also. Both good games. I've seen an arcade machine that takes notes and was £2 per play. That is ridiculous. You must use a gun to play those types of games. For me, it was Time Crisis on the PS1. Time Crisis is a game and a half.
Yes, it was.
Reveler with the lurk. How you doing, Reveler? You good?
Right, so this is Typing of the Dead. I'm sorry for those of you that can't see it. Just go into YouTube and type in Typing of the Dead.
You need to do audio description.
Yeah. So basically, you'd have your keyboard, wait for the cutscene of the guy. So the guy would be walking with a keyboard mounted over his shoulders, but instead of using a light gun, words come up, and you'd have to type in the word to kill the zombie. So like F, yeah. Crab.
That guy's got crabs.
Well, I used to play this in school. It was originally brought out to get your typing speed better. Yeah. So obviously, because it was aimed at school or whatever, they've actually got green blood instead of red.
See, that is... I played some, like, really, really naff games that were like some... It was like, I don't know if it was a...
It was a racing car one.
Oh, no, it was... They were all, like, under some, like, educational name, like a person's name or something. Like Daisy Spelling or whatever. I mean, so whatever this person's name, and they were naff. They were really bad. You got to crab people to death with green blood and stuff.
But yeah, it was cool. Like when we played it in school, it was originally brought in to get people's typing skills up, because all we used to do was just play Quake and Doom at dinner time, or 007, whatever it was. But yeah, that was. I hope they can do something with House of the Dead again, and I hope it's a new arcade cabinet, because that'd be sick. But we'll move into the last story of the day. Obviously, we tried to make this an hour, but I think we've gone well over that.
No, we're about 10 minutes over.
First episode, you got to be done on it. So, WoW Classic's next phase will be released later on this year, says IGN. Matt Kim has written this one for us. So now that the World of Warcraft Classic is up and running, it's time to look forward to the next batch of content updates coming down the pipeline. Blizzard already revealed that today the content for the WoW Classic will be released in 6 phases, and the second phase will likely to be released later on in the year. In a new interview with PC Gamer, WoW Classic director that's got to be Ian Hazzikostas.
Ion? Wow, what a name. Ion Hazzikostas.
Revealed Phase 2 will be out later this year, but there will be some factors that determine when exactly that might be. Key among them is layering a server system that helped WoW Classic handle the massive wave of players that tried to log into the WoW Classic on launch day. Layering allows Blizzard to create copies of a world and spread out across incoming players being populated. This made so that the Blizzard servers could handle more than one player at once, while preventing underpopulated servers from being created later down the time. So, that basically throws us to a question that we had upstairs with the likes of Luke and Lewis, who have actually been playing this game.
Shout out to Luke. Anyone that's lingering and lurking, shout out to Rebel for the lurking, that hasn't watched any of our content before. This is a new show for us. This is The Scoop, so obviously we're on Just Chatting right now, but usually we have a bunch of streamers playing. So Bibby yesterday was playing Volta. I'm playing PUBG on Wednesday night, so make sure you tune in. We will get some social posts around that. And if Shogun Ash is still in the chat, I will be doing my setup stuff. I'll show off my key lights for the first time. But Luke usually plays World of Warcraft Classic on a Thursday, which is what Bibby is talking about.
Yes. So we was talking about this last week. Now that they've made WoW Classic, at what point do they reach WoW Now?
Brown cow.
So they've obviously started back at the 2005 version or whatever it was when it first came out, and they're going to be releasing 6 phases. Which those 6 phases are going to be closest to the product now? How long are they going to be playing WoW Classic for before it reaches the kind of levels that they're at now?
It's kind of like a...
Because it's going to keep on going through reskins. That's what they're saying. They're going to have to keep on layering. So how many servers are they going to have? Because if I was to join WoW at phase 5 of their 6 phase plan, am I going to be playing WoW phase 1, or will I jump in at phase 5?
It's like WoWception. Will they get back to phase 6 and then start at 1 again, but on 4K HD, and then 8K in 10 time?
Well, I don't quite understand it. That's because I don't play WoW. So this may be something that when Luke comes to do it, if he was hosting with you one day, you'll be able to talk about it, because I'm sure there'll be more than enough WoW news going around for everyone to...
We might be able to get Luke in on Friday in the studio, because obviously he's on Thursday, fresh from his WoW stream. We could get him in, because
100%,
because he's a nerd, as it says in the chat. Hi, Luke.
So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see how their world is populated and how many layers that they think they're going to have or need for players to be playing WoW Classic and not WoW Now.
Brown cow.
It's ridiculous.
WoW Now.
How did I stumble upon that? So that is literally all we've got for today. Again, if you do see anything in the news, feel free to tag Ice Cream Uploads, or either myself or Graham into it, or all 3 of us, so we don't miss it. DM us. I think our DMs are open on Twitter, aren't they?
Yeah.
So feel free to send us stuff that you want us to talk about. Obviously, it's got to be within reason. It can't just be anything ridiculous. But we will cover ridiculous stuff for you. Again, one of them came from Sick Pattern about the EA stuff. He wanted us to talk about it. We've done exactly that. Now it's your time to get involved too.
Exactly. And if you've missed any of this, don't worry. Shout out to Dad and Lad Gaming, who's just dropped in. Also thinks we have reasonably priced merch. Yes. And if you're watching on Twitch, !merch in the chat. If Chatbot is awake, and you'll be able to see where you can get our merch. But yes, Dan Lad Gaming says, morning guys, I missed the start, sad times. Don't worry, because you can watch this back again on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/Ice Cream Uploads. But we will also be putting this out on Spotify, on iTunes, eventually Google Play, and all of the places. SoundCloud, there we go, SoundCloud, that's the one I missed.
You can actually download that on SoundCloud as well.
There you go. You can take me and Bibby with you in your
wherever you go.
So yes, don't worry. If you've not missed it, you can watch it back. But if not, it's all right. There's always going to be another one tomorrow, and then Wednesday, and every day of the week apart from the weekends.
So Graham, what is the current schedule for this week's streaming?
Well, every day this week, just mentioned then, 10 a.m. we will have the scoop. So you can join in, me and Bibby again tomorrow. Wednesday, we might have to do some remote stuff because I'll be out of the office. But you can come on this journey with us. Tune in. The first remote-ish scoop will be on Wednesday potentially. So tune in for that. But obviously tomorrow before then. As well as that, Josie is back with Dishonored Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Luke will be live on Thursday with WoW, as we've just mentioned, and I will be doing an evening stream this week, possibly playing PUBG, but as I've said already, not in the greatest state at this point in time. So maybe we will, maybe we won't. We will see. But if I'm not playing PUBG, I will. I've been wanting to open up my second Elgato Keylight forever, but my box is sat there just because I promised I'll do an opening on stream, but we've been busy in Ice Cream. So yes, Ice Cream uploads Wednesday evening. I will be opening my Elgato Keylight and Camlink, just so you guys can see exactly what that is, and I'll do a little bit of a setup chat through as well because Shogun likes that. I want IRL streams where you walk around doing the scoop on the streets. We should do that. We should do.
I agree. I did an IRL the other day, and it seemed to have more viewers than anything else that I've ever done. So I need to start doing more of that, I suppose.
We'll have to call it like IR in traffic.
Yeah, something like that. A nice little sing along. But yeah, that is the schedule for this week. The things do change daily, depending on obviously time and whatever else we've got going on. So do follow us on all of our social media platforms. Can you type in socials in that?
I can.
So for those that are listening on audio, if you search for Ice Cream Uploads on any social media platform, you should be able to find us. Great stuff.
Ice Cream Uploads across all social media.
Absolutely. I'm going to see if this works as well because I haven't got it put. Have I got it put on it?
Yay!
We're on the wrong side. Good times.
But we're right.
Are we? Oh, we are. Jesus, because I always sit on the left, so I try and do it on that. But yeah. Anyway, there are socials, so you can find us on Twitter. But that is it for today. I don't think we've got anything else to go through.
No, nice first scoop. Yeah. Nice bit of chat. Thank you for everyone else that's been in the chat. We've had quite a lot of viewers, which is more than we expected for our first stream, and thank you very much to everyone that has followed, hosted, and everything else. Apologies if we've missed any of the alerts as they come in. We kind of don't want to disrupt the flow of the stream, so that's the reason why we kind of not had it. But yeah, what we see in the chat, we can react. So thank you everyone for being a supporter. It means an absolute deal to us, and we'll do more of this.
Yes, we will see you live 10 a.m. tomorrow. Again, follow all of our socials to be able to find out when we're going live. If we have any more technical difficulties, obviously we won't. But until then, guys, it's been our absolute pleasure, and we hope to see you all again 10 a.m. sharp tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Ciao.